I've seen a thing more bitter than death. Men are too scared to speak up because they're afraid they'll lose their jobs. It's pitiful. I've seen it in all kinds of places: work, government, education systems. And it's bad. It's a smoke in my nostrils that we're oppressed so bad by the cost of our necessities, what we think are our necessities, that we can't speak up against what's evil. I don't like it. You shouldn't either. So, we're in Pride Month right now, and it's no good. It's the promotion of sexual immorality. We shouldn't be promoting sexual immorality. And that's it. We shouldn't be proud of immoral ideologies and beliefs. Nothing to be proud of. We shouldn't be celebrating it. And we have to rise up against them that are promoting it, because it's wrong. And if you don't stand up for what's right, then what can you rest on? I mean, at all. You know, the Christian church talks so much about resting in their salvation, and but how much opposition are they really given to these ideals that are being pushed on our children? So, in the workplace, it's being promoted heavily. Um, at my workplace, it was being promoted. I spoke up about it. Um, I asked people about it if they agreed with it or not, because they had a banner saying we celebrate Pride Month. Now I won't say who the company is, but right now I won't say. You know, I might later. I haven't decided, but either way, they were promoting it, and I asked that they would stop promoting it, and it makes me uncomfortable to have to see it, and, and I mean, should not I be included too? I mean, I have religious beliefs, and I'm opposed to promotion of immoral ideologies and things that harm people. Uh, there, the sexual diseases are spread more abundantly in the homosexual community, harms our brothers and sisters. I had a friend that died of HIV. I think he contracted uh, from homosexual activity with another man, and he died. And I saw him sick, and I loved him. I thought he was a great guy. And he died. And this is one little snippet of the harm that can be done to people, you know, and then children are, you know, oftentimes molested, and then they later on are confused about their sexuality, and then we open the door for them to be preyed upon uh, even further, because we're saying, hey, it's okay, we're not opposing it, and our teachers in the schools are pushing it on our children, whether we like it or not. They're insinuating these ideals into the methodology that they're using to teach the children. It's no good. So this was, you know, one of the reasons why I'm opposed to it. And I want to talk about it. I want to start the conversation and talk and let others say, hey, this is what I think about it too. And so I talked to several people where I worked, several people, and some agreed with me, and some didn't agree with me. But you know what? Nobody rose up a big stink about it, and we just talked about it and went on about our way that day when I did talk to them. And so I thought, well, I won't speak to the least and not speak to the greatest of the company. So I went and I talked to the plant manager about it. And I had approached several, I'd say 4 or 5 people in upper management before that. And it was crazy because like 3 of the guys that I approached, like, ran away, like tried to, well, I say two ran away, like physically tried to depart from my presence to not have to address what I'd asked them if they thought that gay marriage was acceptable, should be promoted in our society. They took off like and ran, and then one wouldn't say one way or the other what he thought about it. Um, he was going to remain neutral, and and the other guy, he agreed with the promotion of it, said that he didn't mind it, but hey, at least he said what he thought about it. But I went and talked to the plant manager about it, and I said, this pride stuff's the smoke in my nostrils. And I'd appreciate it if you take the stuff down, because I had to sit in this break room and look at this, and it bothers me, which it does bother me. And and he said, uh, why should I take it down? And I said, well, it's within your reach to just hit a button, and this will all be, taken down. We won't have to bother with it anymore, and everybody can go back to work. And that's what the place is for, is for work, not for the promotion of radical ideals that conflict with others' ideals and are so controversial that they are bound to bring up some controversy. I would hate to think they wouldn't. And but the thing that I see that's more bitter than death is that the people can't speak up. Like, the many I talked to were against it, and they agreed with me. They have children or what have and they have obligations, and that they're bound by these debt collectors that they have to pay or lose their houses, so they can't speak up against it because their workplace is oppressing them with the promotion of it. And if they say something, they're liable to lose their jobs, and that ain't right. That ain't right. And so I told the plant manager that, and I said, he wanted to know where I thought people were being oppressed and couldn't speak up at, and I said all over, everywhere, and there's a lot of different places in society. Law enforcement is being uh, made to accept things that they don't want to accept. Government is. It's because these people that run the banking systems and the systems that we're indebted to are able to facilitate the promotion of these things, and they've incorporated it and infested their corporations with it. And here we are, been over a barrel because all of us are in debt and nobody can say anything. Well, I'll tell you what, like, I've not been frivolous with my money, the little that I've made, and I've made a gap where I can actually speak up about it and say something. And I did say something about it. And, the plant manager told me that, if I didn't like it, I could hit the door. And I told him, I said, well, actually, I'm thinking about quitting. And and I asked him, I said, what do you think about it personally? And he told me that, he was just there to make a safe quality product, and he didn't care about the issue. So I do care about the issue, though, and it's being laid out in front of me to such a manner that I can't ignore it. So I thought it prudent to bring it up because of my belief system. See, when I was a kid, we prayed in school. And right before we went to eat, we would pray, and we stood and we put our hand over our heart and did the Pledge of Allegiance. And I've been raised up in this country in the churches and stuff for, I'm 39 years old, ever since I can remember, good over 30 years. And so, like, I strongly have strong beliefs about things, but I've been polite and not rude, and I was not impolite to him. And he uh, didn't agree with me, refused to take the banner down, and then he asked me to stop talking to anybody else about it. But I told him that I couldn't do that. I'm not obliged to keep my silence and hold my peace when evil is being on full display before me and the promotion of it. And it's unacceptable. and we shouldn't accept it. And because I wouldn't accept his command to not speak about it anymore, he fired me, and right there on the spot, and asked me to go ahead and get up and collect my things. And I got up and I asked him. I said, "Why am I being terminated?" I said, "On what grounds?" And he said, "Professionalism." And I thought, man. So he took off after that. I didn't get to speak with him anymore. He took off, and I don't know where he went. And there was another guy just showed up like out of the blue. I'd never met him before, but some people were there from like corporate visiting, I think. And I saw him, and I grabbed his hand and shook it. I looked him in the eye, and I said, "This guy just fired me for standing up and against Pride Month and saying something about it and speaking my mind about it." And he looked at me and he said, "Brother," he said, "I don't agree with it either," and wished me the best. And that was nice. Thought that was great that he was there to, like, I didn't know this guy. I'd never seen him before, never seen him again, you know. But I thought it was crazy. He fired me for professionalism. In this place, there was this Pauline pastor that was working there, and they caught him dead to rights looking at porn on his phone. I mean, dead to rights. A good caught him. He recorded him. Thought he was up to something, acting suspicious, and he set his phone up where he could see him, and caught him looking at porn. And they reported him, and he was a lead, and they took him in and talked to him about it and put him right back out on the floor with all the girls, and women, and everything. And you know, I thought that was unprofessional, but yeah, that's what they terminated me for, was professionalism. But yeah, so this stuff has permeated our society, and a lot of us don't like it, and we don't want it to continue. And children are being put at risk and victimized over it. And it's time to rise up against the evildoers and say enough is enough, people. Now that's what I've done. I've lost my job for it, and I've uh, you know, I have to move on. But this is what our world's coming to, and you know, it's a sad thing to watch. And people want to say something and they can't, and that's a problem. But Godspeed, y'all. I'll talk to you later.